When a childhood is marked by abuse and violence, the consequences tend to leave lasting scars, causing lasting wounds and complexities.
During that time, here, it was one of the periods when I experienced the most constant abuse. I was abused by someone who was supposed to protect me. That person took away my innocence, but I didn't know what it was, what was happening there. And that made me wonder why, but it went on for years. Here, I still suffered abuse, and it was also where I got into more trouble at school. I gave my mother a lot of headaches. This was where all the questions came from. I didn't understand anything that was happening. And this is where I started going out. I started going to parties, started getting involved with people. And I started showing all that in my actions. The anger from everything I was going through. I couldn't sleep well. I even went down to 38 kilos. When I got married, I did it just to get out of the house. I remember my mother said, "You're going to get married just to suffer." And that's exactly what happened. I got married just to suffer. What she said really stuck with me. And in that marriage, it was one of the worst things that ever happened in my life. Then I got pregnant, had my son 2 years after getting married. I found out about an affair, and that person told me, laughing, "I cheated on you." That's when all the fights, the abuse, and the disrespect started. And I left that marriage broken, really broken and frustrated. And I remember that one of the things that weighed on me the most during that time was death, thinking about death. I used to say, "I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill my son." I remember I used to sleep with a knife under my pillow, saying, "Today's the day." And there was a certain day when I was really overwhelmed because that person had humiliated me and humiliated my son. And I said, "Now I'm going to take this rope here and end my life." I went to a room, took that rope. I put it on, I hung myself. I put my neck in that rope, wrapped it around twice. That was it. But then, my cousin, who's an assistant, saw through a crack, came running, lifted me up and said, "You're not going now. It's not your time yet." I said, "Just leave me here. I just want to have peace." She said, "Are you going to find peace in hell?" And I was really angry at her at that moment. I was, because I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to live. I just wanted to die. So, 24 hours a day, my thoughts were about death. I kept saying, "I need to end it, to end this pain inside me." Because I didn't know it was my soul. But then, as time went by, she started pulling me along. "Hey, let's go to church." I would go, but the things I needed to let go of, I just couldn't let go. And then the campaign of Israel came. I said, "Now's the time. I'm going to join the campaign. I'm going to rebuild my marriage. My ex will come back to me." But my intention wasn't really for him to come back and for us to live in peace. My intention was to get back at him and show him what he lost. And there I was, going up. I went up once, twice, 3 times. With everything, financially and all. I would leave it on the altar and go down. And I kept waiting, as if God couldn't see inside me that my real intention wasn't love. And then I would ask my grandma, why hasn't God answered yet from this campaign? In that time, I was holding a grudge, a lot of resentment towards the person who abused me, a lot of resentment towards my ex-husband, and a lot of resentment towards my family members. And I only had one thing, a desire for revenge. But the thing is, I didn't recognize that. No, my thinking was that they did me wrong, so I have to get back at them. Then one day, on a Wednesday, during the service, the pastor said, "What do you have inside you?" And I kept thinking about what he said. Then he said, if you have resentment, you need to forgive. That really burned, it burned inside me. But I said, no, if they were the ones who hurt me, why should I be the one to go and ask for forgiveness? And I resisted. I spent 2 years resisting, but that resentment was still there. Hidden, covered up, but it was there. Then came the campaign of Israel at the valley of Jabbok. Even before the purpose started, I began doing the Daniel fast. Then, one early morning, I told God, I wanted you to show me what's inside me that's holding me back. And He showed me that resentment. In the morning, I got up, looked for the first person, and asked for forgiveness. He laughed. He laughed right in my face. At that moment, I was already clean. But there was still one person left, the one who took away what a child had. And I went to that person. And that person looked at me in total shock. I think they didn't expect me to ask for forgiveness because it wasn't supposed to be me. If you think about it, I wasn't the one who should be asking. It was supposed to be that person who should ask. I hugged that person and I left there at peace. But it wasn't just a fleeting peace, no. It was a different kind of peace. And when the campaign of Israel came, I was already prepared. I had let go of everything. I went up to the altar with my vow. And I remember that when I went up, I said this to God. You know what I need, Lord. I didn't ask for anything, nothing at all. My envelope only had my vow inside. There was nothing written. I just told Him, you know what I need, Lord. There was no one near the altar, but I heard Him say, now it's up to me. Then on a Monday morning, Bishop Macedo said on the program, if you want to receive the Holy Spirit, right now, go to the bathroom. Kneel by the toilet and you will receive it. I went with such a thirst that nothing could stop me. I got inside the bathroom, closed the door, and said, I'm here. Lord, you know that I gave up everything. At that moment, it wasn't emotion, it was just a certainty that I was being loved. For the first time, I was loved. Right there, by the toilet, kneeling down. That's where I experienced God's love. And then I started joining the love walks, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends, and I made commitments in the love therapy. I never missed a service. When I found out about the app, I said, no, I'm not going to join. I'm not desperate to find someone. But deep inside, Something told me that's the place. So I joined, and on the very same day, I met my husband. I was in Serra, he was in Sao Paulo, and now we're together in Goiás. After 4 years of marriage, we're now expecting a baby. I tell you, God never fails. He always surprises us. Because sometimes we think so little, even I find myself like, my God, look at how much you've already done for me, how much you've already given me, even when we don't deserve it. But when we surrender, the answer is certain.